Welcome to Taekook Whispers, a place where every glance, every pause, and every quiet moment between Taehyung and Jungkook whispers more than 1,000 words. Have you ever felt a silence so powerful that the world seems to stop, just for a moment? That is exactly what happens when Taehyung appears in GQ Korea's latest video. Not an explosion of emotion. Not loud, attention-seeking sensations. Just presence, calm, warm, and full of meaning. And from that silence, a question emerges that never truly goes away. What are they really trying to protect? And why does every small moment feel so significant? Let's go deeper. Listen to the whispers that are never spoken, yet always felt. GQ Korea has just released its latest video featuring Taehyung, and within moments, the campaign left an impact that was impossible to ignore. Something happens when he appears on screen. Not an emotional outburst, not noisy spectacle, but silence. As if everyone's attention is drawn to the same single point. A silence that is not empty, but heavy with meaning. After returning home, Taehyung shared several photos from the photoshoot. Yet these images are far more than fashion material. They are portraits that radiate beauty, charisma, and a warm aura that feels real, even through a screen. Many people fell silent, not merely out of admiration, but because of the calm and kindness that flow gently from him. Something that cannot be fabricated. Taehyung is truly precious. He never does anything halfway. In every project, every photoshoot, every piece of work he touches, there is always love, dedication, and sincerity poured in completely. He doesn't simply appear, he is present. And from that presence, he shares a sense of peace and safety that, somehow, can be felt by anyone who sees him. This is what makes him special, not only as an artist, but as a human being. The longing for Taehyung, and for Jungkook as well, still feels incredibly strong. We understand their busy lives, the immense responsibilities they carry, and schedules that leave almost no room to breathe. Yet even in the midst of all that, Taehyung still takes the time to share. Just a few photos, simple perhaps, but to fans, they mean the world. These small gestures are what keep the sense of connection alive, that they are still remembered, still cared for. Even the song he chooses for his post never feels accidental. There is an unspoken message about caution, about moving forward with awareness. Taehyung introduced Sunset Rollercoaster, a band from Taipei, Taiwan, known for their blend of synth-pop, soft rock, and gentle jazz touches. Considering his love for jazz, the choice feels deeply personal, as if the music is an extension of himself. More than just music, the band is also known for its creative stance that embraces diversity and inclusivity, including support for the LGBTQ+ community. Once again, Taehyung doesn't just share a song, he shares values. Respect, openness, and empathy. Every small detail he chooses always carries meaning, always born from awareness. His collaboration with GQ Korea reminds us once more of how extraordinary his talent is, and the same is true for Jungkook. Whether individually or when they share the same space, both of them always leave a lasting impression. This campaign will be remembered for a long time, not only for its stunning visuals, but for the energy Taehyung radiates, calm, warm, and deeply meaningful. The relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook itself remains something profoundly meaningful to many people. They are two individuals with different personalities, yet when they are together, a unique connection forms, one that is impossible to ignore. Their charisma influences the industry, but what makes them truly precious is the humility and kindness they consistently show. For many fans, this relationship feels beautiful and sincere, beyond mere public appearances. Unfortunately, not everyone is willing to see it that way. Some demand explanations, pass judgment, and intrude into their private lives, as if everything must always be displayed. Yet privacy is not an obligation. Jungkook himself once emphasized that his relationship with Taehyung is not a performance. That simple sentence carries immense weight, a confirmation that what they have is real, not something created for the spotlight. If they are not always seen together, it is not because of distance or conflict, but choice. A choice to keep something precious safe. Because true relationships are not measured by how often they are seen, but by trust, care, and support that remain even when no one is watching. All of this is reflected in the small details fans often notice. Glances that seek each other out, calm touches, and a closeness that feels natural. Jungkook does not show this side to just anyone, neither does Taehyung. This exclusivity is what makes their bond feel different. And then we return to BTS Festa 2025, a celebration that undeniably became one of the most special moments. Not only because it marked the members' return after military service, but because it gave us something long missed, Taehyung and Jungkook sharing the same space once again. For those who have followed this journey for years, that moment was more than just an appearance. It felt like a quiet affirmation that the bond remains intact. Their relationship has its own language, spoken through brief glances, reflexive movements, and pauses that only they understand. At Festa 2025, even though their time together was brief, every second felt heavy with meaning. The long distance did not erode anything, it clarified it. One of the most talked about moments was when Jungkook made a small, spontaneous gesture toward Taehyung, then suddenly stopped. His gaze changed. Taehyung immediately caught it. That fleeting second left a long echo. That moment reminded us of a reality that often feels painful. Their togetherness is frequently limited, cut short before it can fully breathe. And for those who understand, it hurts, because what is visible is clearly not an act. This relationship grows naturally, consistently, and honestly. It exists in the way they search for each other in a crowd, in the sparkle in their eyes that never truly fades. Time passes, they grow more mature and more careful, but one thing remains the same: the light. It is indeed sad to know that there are still those who reject this closeness. But their relationship does not depend on anyone's approval. It is built on respect and trust, things that do not require verbal justification. Every time we see them together, even if only for a few seconds, everything feels like it falls back into place. In a world that is loud and full of judgment, they still find ways to show up for each other. And that is why so many people continue to admire them. The hope is simple, that one day, they can fully be themselves without fear or limitations. Because what they have is something beautiful and something worthy of respect. Festa 2025 reaffirmed one thing: the bond between Taehyung and Jungkook remains as strong as ever. And as long as those signs still exist, we will remain here, admiring, supporting, and celebrating every small moment they choose to share with the world. In a world that constantly demands explanations, Taehyung and Jungkook choose a different language. The language of trust. The language of care. The language of presence, even when no one is watching. Festa 2025 may have given us only a few seconds of togetherness. But for those who understand, those seconds speak volumes. About a bond not eroded by distance. About feelings that do not need to be displayed to be real. As long as those gazes still seek each other, as long as small gestures remain full of meaning, we know that light has never gone out. Thank you for listening to the Whispers with us. If you feel the same, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Because at Taekook Whispers, we don't just watch moments, we feel them.